Hello, everyone. Super Bowl 56 is right around the corner. Rams versus Bengals. Can astrology predict the outcome? That is what we are here to figure out today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am so excited to talk about the astrology of the Rams versus the Bengals. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So, on Sunday, February 13th, 2022, the Rams and the Bengals are going to meet up. My name is Dayna Schmidt-Johnson. We're going to talk about the astrology of this today. I'm the resident astrologer for the Writual Society, and I am so excited to break this all down for you. Here's what we're going to review, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take a look at both teams. Yes, every single sports team on the planet has their own special chart, and we'll take a look at both the Rams and the Bengals, as well as the coaches' charts and then the quarterbacks' charts. Are there way more factors at play in a single game? Yes, absolutely. But these three will hopefully narrow it down a little bit and allow us to make a prediction on who is going to win the Super Bowl based solely on astrology. So we're going to start with the event itself. We need to take a look at what is going on during the Super Bowl, which is February 13th, 2022 at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time in Inglewood, California. So this is the chart that we're looking at. We've got all of these planets hanging out, most of them in Capricorn and Aquarius. This part of the chart has all the action. And what you'll notice on top of it is that we have these four planets in Capricorn, right? We've got Mercury, we've got Venus, we've got Mars, and we've got Pluto. And what you'll notice is that Mars and Venus are right there together, which tells us this game is going to be passionate. It is going to be two teams coming together to duke it out, who are truly, truly there for the love of the game, and they are going to have that passion and drive to win it. This is going to be a good game. I'm really excited for it. We also have Mercury and Pluto conjuncting right here. They're so close to one another on the chart, and that tells us that communication is going to fill a very, very important role during this Super Bowl. Whichever team is going to be able to communicate best is going to be able to really transition themselves into the winners of this game. That is opposite the moon. Our moon is all about our emotions and how we can control those emotions. So if we can keep the emotions in control with the communication, that is going to be the key in this game, bringing the drive, the passion, and the communication to win this game and be on top of it for the outcome. We're also going to take a look at two other factors. That is Jupiter here in Pisces. Jupiter is our planet of luck and expansion. So whoever has that planet on their side is going to be in a better position to win the Super Bowl. And then we're going to take a look at Saturn as well. Saturn is in Aquarius right now, and Saturn is our planet of restriction and the planet that could really hold us back a little bit when it comes to any kind of winnings. So these are the factors we're really looking at. And what you're going to see as I go through this chart is these planets are going to pop up on the outside of everyone else's chart. So we'll be able to see how the planets of this event itself cross with the charts of everyone else. Ready to take a look? First up is the Rams. All right, the LA Rams. Now, I had a little trouble trying to determine when and where some of these teams really came about, how they, when they were founded, what the deal was. So what I have determined is that the Cleveland Rams began on February 12th in 1937. So that's the chart that we're running with here. The Rams have kind of been all over the place. I personally saw them in St. Louis years and years ago, but we're going with this date for the beginning of the LA Rams, founded in Cleveland, Ohio. So this is the chart that we're looking at with that founding. I don't have a time for the Rams. In fact, I don't have a time for anybody here. So what you'll see is this standard chart that starts with Aries, goes all the way around the zodiac because we don't have any times. If you yourself have a birth time, that will affect the position of the chart, but this will make it a lot easier to cross over and see how these charts play with one another. So let's take a look at how the Rams are going to show up on Super Bowl Sunday. You can see these other planets out here hanging out. Let me get this out of the way. And right, we've got Venus and Mars, and we've got Mercury and Pluto. What you can see here with the LA Rams is that there are some planets that are conjuncting those conjunctions. So that tells me that Mercury is in good standing with Mercury in the cosmos. Where the LA Rams chart begins, they have Mercury on their side. Pluto could throw a wrench in that. However, this tells me communication is going to be on point for the Rams. They also have Jupiter right on top of that Venus and Mars. So this suggests to me that they're going to have luck in their passion, luck in their ability to really push forward and drive. That's that Mars. That's kind of the Mars is our planet of war and, aggression and moving things forward towards your goal. So those are really powerful statements here right out of the gate for the Rams. We're also looking at, that Saturn might play a factor in the sun sign with it. That might hold it back a little bit, holds back the soul, the essence of the Rams themselves. But with Jupiter being right on top of that moon there, that could be a really powerful emotional expansion. If they can dive deep into the emotion of the moment, they could really come out on top in this one. So that's the chart for the Rams themselves. Let's dive a little deeper and take a look at the coach, Sean McVay, born January 24th, 1986 in Dayton, Ohio. So here is his chart. A couple things of note. He's got that sun right on top of his Venus, and Mercury is not far behind, again, in the realm of Capricorn. So when we lay over this chart, we see these all kind of coming together for him as well. Once again, with that bit of communication, we are going to see good communication from this coach, making it a transformative moment for him in this game. He's also got the sun on top of his Jupiter, bringing a really lovely vibe to the soul essence of luck, right? These other planets for him are kind of hanging out over here, not really playing too much of a part in this game. If anything, we're really looking at some lovely trines with Mars here and Jupiter and the moon. So this looks really positive overall for Sean McVay. Now let's take a look at his quarterback, Matthew Stafford, born February 7th, 1988 in Tampa, Florida. Once again, the Rams really have this communication in alignment with their soul essence, this Mercury. Now for Stafford here, Mercury was retrograde during his birth, meaning it was moving backwards from our point of view on Earth. So this could play a little bit in that he may get mixed signals during this time. Something could go a little bit awry, especially since this is hitting that same area of the chart as all the other planets. He does have good fortune and luck in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. That Mars joining up with that Venus is going to be a really, really power play for him during this game. Let's take a look at how that overlaps. You can see the different pieces of the puzzle, where we've got different things. I mean, it's almost his birthday anyway. And it'll be just after that during the game. And this could throw a little bit of a wrench for him. This is Neptune right here. It's a planet of dreamy subconscious. So if he can get his subconscious on the same level as his conscious behavior during this game, that passion, again, that drive, if he can connect those, this could be a really, really positive outcome for Matthew Stafford as well. His Pluto is over here trining Jupiter honestly, we've got some good luck in this realm. The only thing might be standing in his way is, once again, this Saturn on top of his sun. So we'll see how that plays out. If he has been doing the hard work that it takes to get to a Super Bowl and to be a Super Bowl winner, this could work in his favor. So that is the Rams. Let's take a look at the Bengals, see how the Bengals are shaping up in this Super Bowl. So once again, had a bit of a tough time trying to figure out when the Bengals were founded. It was either the 23rd or the 24th of May. Went with the 24th because the 23rd was the day they were told they could be in it. So the paperwork probably would have been signed the next day. 1967. That won't change most of the planets, possibly the moon, if anything, but we're just taking a look here. For them, most of the planets are on the opposite side, and in fact have no planets in this zone. However, that could be a really good thing, because then those planets aren't getting in the way of the situation. For them, they've got Mercury here in Gemini, which plays really nicely with the Aquarius energy, being an air sign. And they have Mars in Libra, also an air sign. So those three could play really nicely together on the day of the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at the actual layover. Again, you'll see just like totally empty here with all these energies. So those energies are going to be like in their purest form at that moment and be able to really do what they need to do for the Bengals. Saturn could play a factor being, but it's in a trine, which is actually a better, more beneficial position than being in a square. It is, however, square to their sun. So again, it's about, have the Bengals done the work, the hard work to get to this point and be championship winners? We will see how that works out for them. Let's take a look at their coach, Zach Taylor, born May 10th, 1983 in Norman, Oklahoma. Here is his chart. Once again, we're not seeing a lot of energy in this realm. This is Lilith, asteroid that's on the outer skirts, so it's not too much to pay attention to for this reading. But we do have some interesting things going on here. His Jupiter is overlapping his Uranus, and that could give us an unexpected advantage here. Jupiter could come in and really expand that. Maybe that means like coming up from behind and really killing it in the end. All possibilities. So we do have several planets, again, that sun, that Mercury, and that Mars in an earth sign, which Capricorn is also an earth sign. So that trines really nicely and gives them really good vibes to work with as we go through. So when you see it overlaid, again, all of these planets that are hanging out here, Zach's chart is not getting in their way. It may help that we've got some trines going on, giving them a little bit of a good boost. This Jupiter in a water sign, there's not a lot other going on in the water sign except that Venus, and that Venus is connecting with Mars. So we may see some positiveness there. The one issue I see there is that these two are opposite one another. So unless he gets that passion together and really like hones in on what the passion is and is able to connect with the passion inside and the drive to get there, this could be working slightly against him. Moving on to the quarterback, Joe Burrow, born December 10th, 1966 in Ames, Iowa. Joe actually does have some of these bigger factors here at play in Capricorn, especially the Mercury and the Jupiter. So these are things we want to take a look at. I don't think that this Saturn is too much in the way, except for that it's in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is a big factor in this event itself, being that it's conjunct with Venus. So once again, getting clear on the passion, getting clear on the drive and the desire is going to be really key for the Bengals in this situation. But like I said, that Jupiter could really help out Joe Burrow here in this situation. The communication will be on par with the passion and the drive. And then Uranus and Neptune could play a factor in their communication as well. It could be a little off. It could be something that comes in at the 11th hour. Again, I see if the Bengals win this, they're going to come in from behind and really kill it. It's going to be an unexpected advantage. So, having said all of that, who's coming out on top with the Bengals versus the Rams? I say astrologically, it's gonna be the Rams. We will see what happens Sunday, February 13th. I'm thrilled to see if my prediction is correct or if astrology plays a factor at all. But I can't wait for this game. Looking forward to a really good game between two really amazing teams, and that is the most important thing, aside, of course, from the halftime show. Thanks all for tuning in. We'll see what happens.